the start of spring to the autumn leaves and the summers and winters between. When the river is wide and the same one is dry, when the wind blows hard through the trees. Even if we're dead broke with no place to go, even when the shadows are strong, you'll always be, you'll always be, you'll always be my girl. When the harvest is plenty and
it goes back over 60 years, so you know, where he was 2 years younger.
2 years old.
I mean, 2 years older. I can't say that I ever paid any attention to him in grade school.
And to me, she was just a little girl running around with my little sister.
Yeah.
All those years, so I didn't pay a lot of attention to her either until my sister suggested that we go to the dance together.
His sister Anita was in my class in school, and when I was a junior, Anita thought we were having a sweetheart dance, and neither one of us had a date, and Anita says, well, why don't you invite Vic? Well, he hadn't paid any attention to me, and I hadn't paid any attention to him, but I invited him.
I was going to junior college at the time in Garden City, and when she invited me down, I agreed. And anyway, I came down, and after the dance was kind of over at an early time, I said, well, let's go to Dodge and get something to eat, and we'll go home. And Louise looked at me and said, oh, Mom won't let me go to Dodge. And I said, well, I'll go ask her. And Louise just really didn't think she would, but anyway, we went and asked her mom, and there was another couple going with us, and so in fact there was more than that, wasn't there?
I don't remember.
Well, anyway, the four of us went. I think there was one more, but I'm not sure. But anyway, we had a good time, and so that was our first date.
Sometimes I wake up with the sadness, other days it feels like madness. So what would I do without you? When colors turn to shades of gray with the weight of the world at the end of the day, what would I do without you? A decade goes by without a warning, and there's still a kindness in your eyes.
We have been married real close to 60 years when you'll be hearing this. It may even be after 60 years. But we were married on August the 14th in 1955. That's right. Thank you. So, a long time. It's been a wonderful life. And out of this union of Louise and I we have 3 children, and they have all married. To those 3 kids, there is there's 13 grandchildren and 9 great-grandchildren now. So at the present time.
I will never make it if I'm on my own.
We got engaged
At Christmas time. Mm-hmm. You know, when you're younger, he was older, so that was appealing to be dating an older guy. You know, and Anita was a good friend. So I don't know, it just kind of all fit together.
And we had lots of good times together. We enjoyed double dating with Buck, Ullin, and Marlene, her sister, and we did that a lot. That been a couple of years there that we did that. So
Decided that was it. How young? It's hard to imagine we were ever that young.
that picture will be 60 years old this summer.
Then we went to Colorado, Wyoming, and Idaho, and came back home on our honeymoon. When we came back, we lived in that house right across north of the school, the old gymnasium. Vicky and Rick were both born there. And
Dad had a lot of houses in town, and he told us that for our wedding anniversary, for our wedding, he'd give us a house. And so he said, "You pick out the house." And Louise says, "No, these are too close to your house, to Dad's house. These are too close to Grandma Thomas. These are too close to my folks. These are too close to her folks. These are too close to great grandma Menzie. So we took this one. It was kind of in between all of those houses. We didn't want to just move right next door to one of them.
then we moved out the farm after we bought the ground, and we moved from in town down there, and Sid was born out there.
This place called home.
In 74.
We built this house in 1974.
Oh my, we've seen the changes. And just right out here in our neighborhood has been so much, because when we first moved, I could see up the highway, I could see people coming and going, and I just never have regretted for a moment living in a small town. I like to go to the bigger towns once in a while, but not for very long. I'm always glad to be home.
Well, we like the small community. We feel like we're part of the community. We've both held offices here, many different offices, and try to help the community grow. I majored in
He got a teaching degree.
Yes, I got a teaching degree. Thought I might have to teach sometime or other, but my dad wanted me to come back to the farm, and so I told Dad if I could come to the farm. We didn't have a very big farm, but a nice start. And if I could come to the farm, if we could get a irrigation well, I would be glad to come to the farm. And Dad says, "Well, if we don't have land to get an irrigation well on, we will try to get some." And so I says, "Well, that's good enough for me." But I says, "I'd like to drill right out here on a half section just south of town and see if we can get a well there." And Dad says that would be fine. That was on some of his ground that he had bought. And so we drilled there, and I know I stayed up all night the night they was drilling and watching the driller go down, and they brought that well in early in the morning and said got it through drilling, and they put the pump in it, and yes, it pumped pretty good, and so we decided we'd put a well down, and so that was pretty neat, and we started farming that. I told Dad I was going to have to pay for that well, and I had to borrow every bit of the money. I didn't realize, though, that I couldn't borrow 100% of the money without Dad going in there. But he told me to go to the bank, go to the Montezuma Bank, and the bank could probably loan it to us. So I went into the bank and asked if we could borrow the money to pay for that well, which was $10,000, and that's what I had to pay the allowances. I talked to Cliff McReynolds at the bank, and he said, well, yes, he says, but he kidded me about, he says, do you think you can pay all that back if you loan me that much money, or if I loan you that much money? And I said, yes, I think I can. I said, I think I can pay it back in 3 or 4 years. And you know, I had a really good crop out there that summer, and I paid that off that first year. So he was very happy, but Dad had been in and talked to him and told him that if I couldn't pay it off, he would pay it off. So I think the bankers felt pretty secure. But I didn't realize that for a lot of years that Dad had gone in and made arrangements for me to borrow the money.
I'll sing. I wanna love you forever, I do. I wanna spend all of my days with you. We'll carry your burden, be the wind that you're back. I wanna spend my forever, forever like that.
He has been a real leader in our family, and very intelligent and a good provider. The leadership he's given has been great, and the values he's taught our kids, they can look back, you know, when kids are growing up and have to be kind of rough every now and then, but they can look back and are thankful and have said so.
I can't talk after that. That takes the cake. Yeah, I can't believe all that's happened. She's too kind. But Louise is a very strong person, as you would know, mentally and sharp and very good with the kids and very faithful and very outgoing in the community here, well thought of, and she's just made a wonderful wife and a wonderful mother. There'll be some hard days and there'll be some good days, and you have to work at it.
You have to, you can't just, you know, you've got to
be forgiving. Both of you have to be forgiving. It works both ways.
Just can't quit. You know, you've got to work through it and have faith in everyone that things will work through. The good times sure outnumber the tough times, and we've been so fortunate. We've had such a good life here in Montezuma and wonderful children and families that we have just been very fortunate in our years here.
We've had very successful kids, which we're very proud of. 3 kids that have grew up here. Oh, seeing these kids grow up and what they become, we are definitely proud of them and proud of all of them. They've all got different talents, and it's just exciting to see and exciting to follow them. And we've tried to do that and hope to continue to do that.
Oh, it's been a real joy to watch your own kids grow and mature, and they have all grown to love the Lord so and want to serve Him, and we feel so fortunate. They all do, and their families are following in the same So it has been great being a wife, a mother, a grandmother, a great-grandmother. They're all special times. You think your own kids are so special, and then grandkids, oh my. But great-grandkids are even a step ahead, so we're glad we're able to enjoy them too.
I'd like to see our grandchildren, great-grandchildren, all grow up happy, have a good education, and be healthy.
That's what you want.
That's probably one of the main things I'd like to see happen.
Like I said, we're very blessed. They've blessed us all, the kids and grandkids. There's just never anything other that I want to do except that. Being a wife and a mother and a grandmother. I don't know how it could get any better.
I'm gonna love you forever, I do. I'm gonna spend all of my days with you. We'll carry your burdens and be the wind that shall by. I'm gonna spend my forever like that.